We finally had 2 weeks off at the same time, Richard and I. Let's go on a road trip. Somewhere random, somewhere we haven't been yet. What do you think? I wanted to leave enough mystery for this idea to be intriguing and win out over the desire to spend our hard-earned vacation time at home doing spring cleaning. Well, Richard pursed his lips as he weighed his options. I was the spontaneous one, while he tended to opt for more responsible ways to spend time. I put on my best combination of alluring smile and pleading eyes. Come on, please. I promise when we come back we can spend the entire rest of the time cleaning every nook and cranny of this place. The drive was estimated to be just over 7 hours, according to Google Maps. While we had a bunch of podcasts and games ready to go, I knew I was going to succumb to my desire to nap on long car rides. There is something about the sound of tires on the highway and the purr of the engine that soothes me. Just as expected, I fell asleep about 4 hours in. A blaring horn startled me awake, with a semi-trailer flying past my window to confirm the source. I rubbed my eyes. How long was I out? I looked for the sun to see if I could estimate the time. I learned in Girl Scouts how to tell the time from the stars, but I can't seem to find the sun. Must be about to set, huh? My stomach growled, so I turned my attention to my purse at my feet. Are you hungry? I asked as I dug around in search of a snack. All I have in here are Mentos, and I have no idea how old these are. Is there an exit soon? We can pull off for some food. I looked back out my window to check for one of those huge blue signs listing restaurants or rest stops. Hun, what do you... I hadn't looked at Richard yet. When I glanced at him just then, I noticed he was staring at me, right at me. Just his head was turned 90 degrees, a smile frozen on his face. What? I asked, a smirk creeping to the side of my mouth. We used to do this all the time, playing driver's chicken. It didn't take long for my smile to wear away, though. This wasn't chicken. Normally, whoever was driving would always glance back at the road or give up after about 5 seconds. Richard wasn't giving up. Richard, look at the road. I whipped my head from his eerie smiling face to the road in front of us. You're going 80 miles an hour. This isn't funny. You're going to get us killed. I screamed as a red Honda changed lanes right in front of us. Somehow, Richard smoothly changed lanes right around the car and back. I was looking right into his eyes that whole time. He hadn't turned away from me, not to look in the rear-view mirror, not out the front windshield, not even a little to the side. His eyes were locked onto mine, his smile never faltering. The weirdest thing was how his eyes looked. They were always my favorite feature of Richard's. Deep mossy green, with perfectly long eyelashes. But now they seemed darker somehow. It took me a few moments to realize that it was his pupils. They were slowly dilating, swallowing more and more of his iris into darkness. That was an hour ago. No matter what I did, he would not look back at the road. I tried to turn his head, scream, plead, cry. I even slapped him at one point, hoping to break him out of whatever trance this was. The only time he moved was when I tried to grab the wheel from him. I won't try that again. Even though Richard won't look at the road, he never hits anything or anyone. We're still driving north, and I don't know if he's going to stop when we reach our vacation town. I don't know if he is even my Richard anymore. I don't know if I can call the cops. Will they believe me? I'll sound insane telling them my husband, whose eyes are completely black now, won't stop driving the car and is just staring at me. Maybe I should try that anyway. I don't know. I do know one thing, though. We have to run out of gas eventually. I thought by now we'd run out of gas, but the fuel gauge has been slowly spinning in smooth circles, seemingly emptying before counterclockwise refilling itself on an endless loop. I haven't slept again since waking up into this living nightmare. I haven't felt tired. I haven't been hungry. I haven't even felt the need to use the restroom, which isn't typical for me on long stretches in the car. All I feel is Richard's smile. His lips curled up small above his teeth, bigger than I've ever known. We must have been driving for hours at this point. My body and my mind know it's been a long time. My legs are feeling restless. The clock on the center console has been cycling through numbers at random. and it's been impossible to tell the time since waking up. It's obviously daylight out, but every time I look out the window, I can't seem to find the sun. An hour ago, I tried to call the police. At least it felt like an hour ago. The clock on my phone has disappeared. I opened the keypad and dialed 911. Phone pressed to my right ear, eyes glancing sideways at Richard. I held my breath, waiting for the call to go through. After a few seconds of silence, I pulled the phone away to check the screen. The display said, "Calling," with the ellipses writing itself over and over. The call wasn't connecting. I hung up the phone, then tried again. Still nothing. I looked at the top corner of my phone screen to check the service. Instead of those little bars increasing in size or 4G or my phone carrier name, it said "no service," with a little symbol next to it. I squinted, trying to make out the shape. I threw my phone to the floor with a gasp as I realized that the symbol was a smiley face emoticon. About 30 minutes ago, I tried to roll down the window so I could get a better look outside. I kept the finger on the button as the glass descended, fresh air whipping fast across my face. I looked back at Richard to see if he would react. I was only met with that increasingly familiar smile, that awful grin. His face used to melt away all my fear and anger. Now, the wide eyes and wide smile fill me with terror, fill me with rage. I placed my free hand on the window as it lowered to feel the air. Then the window froze, and I noticed that Richard's left hand wasn't on the wheel anymore. He had locked the automatic windows. "Why are you doing this? I don't understand." I had asked this question 100 times by now, but each time my words were filled with more venom. "Richard, please answer me. Are you just going to keep this up forever? What do you want from me? What can I... Ah!" I felt a searing pain as my right hand was being crushed in the rolled-up window. I hadn't felt it going up as Richard pressed the button on his door. I desperately tried to yank my fingers free. There have been other cars on the road. I've been frantically trying to get their attention. I wave, I scream, I bang on any surface I can reach. Hand still raw, I grab the paper map of the East Coast that Richard liked to keep in the back seat. I had highlighted our route in pink with little stars marked stops I thought we'd enjoy. I rummaged in my purse for a pen. I dug the words, "help," in big blue letters across the map. I used my shirt sleeve to wipe away the bloody words to my right and plastered the map against the glass. I pleaded for someone to look in our direction. I couldn't get anyone's attention. I started counting the passing seconds in my head. 5 minutes ago, I decided I was going to jump. The exits were locked, but if I was quick, I could hit the unlock button and throw the door open in a matter of seconds. I knew we were going too fast and my chances of survival were slim. But that incessant smile is burned into my eyes, burned into my brain. I didn't see any other way to escape. It had to be my best chance to get out. I stared straight ahead, trying to watch for any movement out of my peripherals, hands resting in my lap. I shifted my weight like I was just readjusting my posture, my left hand coming to rest over the seatbelt release. I let out a hefty fake cough as I pushed down, releasing the buckle. The click was loud, but Richard didn't move an inch. I felt hopeful, looking at him with caution while I guided the seatbelt into its retracted position against the car door. He smiled. He stared. I could see my face reflected in those huge pupils. Smiling, staring. I could see my wide eyes reflected in his, my chest heaving with deep, anxious breaths. As I held his gaze, my right hand found the door handle. I grasped the cold metal, a rush of adrenaline spiking my heart. I counted down in my head. 3. A bead of sweat dripped from my forehead into my eye. It stung, and I tried to blink it away. 2. I gripped the door handle tighter, tensing my leg muscles for the imminent leap. 1. Did Richard's mouth twitch? I hesitated. Was Richard still in there behind the dilated pupils and faux smile? I pulled the handle and threw my weight to the right. hearing the whistle of wind fly by my ears. My hair whipped about in every direction. Time was infinite. I turned back to face Richard one last time. Our eyes locked, his new expression now unwavering. He didn't try to stop me. I leaned backward. I closed my eyes, about to hit the asphalt with nothing but a thin fabrics protecting my body. No matter the mangled outcome, I was going to escape. I gulped in air to fill my lungs like breaching the surface of water after being submerged for too long. I was in our car. Same car, same Richard, same smile, same road, same broken console, same inescapable madness. I'm trying anything I can think of now. I've tried sending texts, but they all fail. I've called every number saved in my phone. Wait, every number except for one. I open the favorites section on my phone and press my thumb onto the first number. It rings. Amazed, I look up to the cell phone holder on the car vent, where Richard's phone is sitting. It doesn't light up. It doesn't vibrate. Nothing. I pull my phone away to confirm that it is calling the right number. My phone is connecting to Richard's. I slowly put the phone back up to my ear. The ringing stops. Hello, Evelyn. Richard? I held my breath, waiting for words from the other end of the call. Yes. I looked at the ever-smiling thing to my left, the landscape whizzing by behind his head. The wide, unmoving eyes of my former partner remained locked in my direction. I slouched low in my seat, shrinking away from him and from this whole fucked-up situation. Where are you? I'm right here, Evelyn. But you're here, sitting next to me in the car. It's you, or maybe it used to be you. If you're on the other end of this call, what is this thing I've been driving next to for hours? My brain couldn't comprehend what was happening. I needed an explanation. Tell me what's happening, Evelyn. Richard's voice sounded far away, but it calmed me a bit to finally hear it again. Some nights at home, just before drifting off to sleep, Richard would start a conversation about a major life topic, like buying a new house or starting a family, and we'd be up for hours just listening to each other talk. I missed hearing his voice while trapped in this car. The smiling thing taunted me with its deafening silence. I closed my eyes and tried my best to tell Richard what was going on. You're sitting next to me in the car. It's you, but maybe it's not you. How can it be you? You're on the phone, and the body in the driver's seat isn't moving, isn't talking. You've been staring at me with an unearthly smile stretched across your face for the past, I don't know how long I've been in this car. I can't escape. I can't get you to look away, or talk, or do anything. I tried jumping out of the car but ended up right back inside. I remember the moments before hitting the asphalt, hoping I'd live but ready to die just to escape. I know that sounds insane, but it's the truth. I'm trapped. My voice started to shake as the thought of being forever stuck with this silent, smiling demon crept in. Help me, please! How is all of this making you feel? I sat up in my seat, caught off guard by the ridiculous question. What the fuck, Richard? How do you think I'm feeling? Maybe this is some sick joke, but it's all too supernatural. I don't know. Maybe I'm already dead. Maybe I'm being punished for something. This isn't real. It can't be. That means this phone call isn't even real. I considered hanging up the phone, but even if I was being punished, hearing Richard's voice was some vague consolation. You say you think you're being punished? I pulled my hair in frustration. My mind was no longer my own. This entire conversation with fake Richard must have been fabricated by my lost mind. It seemed futile to continue the conversation, but at this stage, what else was I going to do? Well, I've read enough horror stories to recognize this scenario. I'm trapped here in a seemingly unending hell world. Think, Evelyn. Have you done anything for which you should be punished? Why are you asking me these questions? Why? Help me get out of here, I pleaded. You're my Richard, or maybe you're not, so whoever you are, please. I haven't been able to contact anyone since waking up to this smiling monster. We're weaving past cars. We haven't had to stop for gas. It's not making sense and I just want out. Please, please. I am trying to help you, Evelyn. Take a breath and think about the question. I stared out through the windshield at the painted highway lines zipping toward us and disappearing out of sight under the car, considering the nameless voice on the other end of the call and its calm inquiries. Can I think of any reason why I should be punished? Yes. I closed my eyes. Slow inhale through my nose. Slow exhale through pursed lips. Put on the spot. Imagine trying to recount all the mistakes you have made in your life. Does the mind retain every misstep? We learn and we adapt based on our mistakes. Perhaps guilt also plays a factor, but at some point we let go. We forget. I started with my most recent memories. Something must have occurred not long ago to send me here. Is there someone I've wronged? Broken laws? No, just a normal life. I try my best to not offend. Some may even call me meek, a pushover. I could use less plastic bags. I could tip a bit more at restaurants. Nothing deserving of this entrapment, this kidnapping, and the broken man with the broken smile beside me. Are you still with me, Evelyn? Yes. And I can't think of anything. I haven't done anything to deserve this. I'm certain. All right, that's good, if you're sure. Can you tell me about what you see around you, outside the car? Once again, I scoured the landscape as we sped down the never-ending highway. Beyond the dark borders where the asphalt met the shoulder, there was nothing but a blur of various shades of green. It's a forest. I haven't seen any animals or signs or exits off the highway. There are other cars, but I can't seem to get anyone's attention. I sighed. It's hopeless, Richard. I still don't know if you're real because I've probably gone insane. But I don't think I'll ever be able to get out of this. This is my life now. A hard truth to accept. Maybe I would keep trying to escape after this phone call came to its natural conclusion. Perhaps I would starve to death or die of dehydration, but oddly I hadn't even felt any hunger pangs after hours and hours inside the car. No, Evelyn, this is not your life. We've both worked too hard for this. Evelyn, listen to me. Look again. What do you see around you? I don't know what you want from me. It's just you, me, the highway, the forest, this car, and people in other vehicles barreling down the road around us. People who won't pay me any goddamn attention. I heard Richard sigh. It was the kind of sigh he used when he was trying to contain his frustration with me. Okay, fine. Forget the outside. Close your eyes and tell me about your favorite memory. What? Your favorite memory. The scene you hold nearest to your heart. The moment that is never far from your thoughts. I couldn't see how this would help, but I'd already come this far, answering these questions. I closed my eyes yet again. It was hard to fight past the burning image of the frozen being beside me, with its gleaming white teeth and chapped lips. My stomach lurched and my face distorted as I hunted for something happy. I could only remember our car. I don't know. You can do it. I know it's in there, Evelyn. A flash, bright sun, laughter, potato salad in my hair. What are you thinking about? I told the voice on the phone about the picnic forming in my mind. The face of Richard, the real Richard, swam into view. I could count the freckles across his nose. My hand was on his knee. He raised his camera and snapped a picture of me mid-laugh. We were in a park by the water near the bay. There was the lighthouse where my brother got married 3 years ago. There were the couples holding hands, walking dogs. Children were playing tag in the distance, running barefoot through the warm grass. Good, keep going. It felt good to remember. The sun was warm on my face. The sky was free of clouds. A frisbee sat on our blanket, but we never got up to play. And that was fine. We brought too much food with us. We talked about getting a dog. We talked about the wedding we'd have, the house we'd have, the kids we'd have. My mouth turned up into a relaxed smile. When was the last time I smiled? You found the place, Evelyn. What place? I asked dreamily. I wasn't ready to snap back into the horror of the present. Your safe place. It's exactly where I need you to be. Need me to be? That's right. Now you're ready. I want you to kill him. Something shifted in my brain. In a way, it was as if my brain and my body were in two different places, no longer occupying the same space. "What?" I whispered. "Kill Richard, quickly, before you both get up to leave. Do you see anything around you that you can use as a weapon?" I looked around. The picnic blanket we were sitting on, the blades of grass lazily swaying in the warm breeze. Something silver glinted in the sun. It was the cheese knife we brought, plunged deep into a block of cheddar like the Arthurian sword in the stone. Without much consideration, I wrapped my fingers around the handle. "Kill him," the voice of Richard sang sweetly in my ear. Yes, it made sense. I had to kill him to escape. My happy moment would be tarnished forever, but it had to be destroyed for me to finally be free. I looked up from the knife to Richard's face. His face was no longer filled with love and affection. He was smiling, but oh God, it was that sinister, never-ending grin again. The horror had invaded the safe space I had built. My eyes snapped open. We were back in the car, my lost driver gripping the steering wheel with his neck twisted toward me at a perfect 90-degree angle. I was twisted at the waist, my right hand in my lap. I was holding the knife. Involuntarily, or so it seemed, I raised my arm. I furrowed my brow. This didn't make sense. I couldn't do it. "He's not who you think. Kill it," the voice said. The words coursed swiftly through my veins. I gripped the knife harder. My knuckles turned white. I gritted my teeth, concentrating my gaze. I knew exactly where to aim my strike. "I'm sorry." I drove the sharp, cold metal straight through the pearly white wall of teeth. I pulled back. I plunged forward into the empty green eyes, first the left, then the right. I pulled back. I dug the steel into his chest, targeting his heart, the heart that I once possessed. The menacing smile never faltered as crimson began to overtake its entire face. I placed my hand on its chest, sobbing. "Evelyn, are you still there?" The voice was clearer now. I looked at my glistening hands, stained red. I looked up. The room came into focus. I was strapped into a black faux leather chair that squeaked uncomfortably when I shifted my weight. A man stood a few feet away. I looked at the familiar name tag on his white jacket. Dr. Richard Amnes. He was smiling, looking straight into my eyes. He leaned forward slightly, waiting for a response. "Yes, Richard, I'm here." He expelled a small laugh and pulled a recorder from his pocket. Richard spoke calmly into the microphone. "Evelyn has successfully emerged from Trial 1.